There's Commissioner Toyota.
No, there he is. We got 5 o'clock on the dot. All right, work sessions are an opportunity for board members to discuss issues informally with staff and invited guests. The board encourages members of the public to attend work sessions and listen to the discussion, but there's generally no opportunity for public comment. Members of the public wishing to address the board are welcome to do so during the board's regularly scheduled meetings held twice monthly. And our first item is the agenda review. We've got the agenda for this evening. Does anybody have any questions about our agenda this evening, please?
Order.
Okay,
So the FEMA buyout meeting that I keep hearing about at the end of the month, who is sponsoring that and where?
so that is something that the city of Warrenton has been putting together. So
Okay.
this is an informational meeting that they want to have. I think it's at the high school, and they've invited me and I think Gail to attend as well. I think it's Q&A, answering questions.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
Could we somehow,
There's also a Colpack, meeting, I think tomorrow, that's gonna
Yeah.
be talking about the.
Yeah,
FEMA
yeah,
buyout
we've been
also.
spending a lot of time at the full fact, and we're talking about FEMA buyout as well.
And then there's the third meeting, which I just talked with Sarah Adster about on the 22nd at 3 o'clock. It's a Zoom meeting.
Now, that's the coalition meeting.
Sorry, the coalition
Yeah.
meeting, but it's a Zoom meeting.
Yeah,
Is what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
virtual meeting, which is
Virtual.
good to have that. We need to have some direction and see where everybody's head's at.
Are you ready to let me talk? Just a sec, hang on a second here. I'm not done yet. What I talked to her about was having Commissioner, Chang and Commissioner, Brady participate in it. So that they get to be in there too. So that we've got our, visiting commissioners from Wasco and Deschutes County. I just want to get that in because it'll fall out of my brain and I'll forget it.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
okay, great.
Could we be sent from those dates? I mean,
Yeah, sure, we can definitely share those. Again, the one on the 28th is a City of Warrenton. And that was an invite for both myself and for Gail to attend.
and there's an-
The one on the 22nd is the coalition, so that's the Coalition for Floodplain Protection.
so that's the group.
That's the group,
That's
that's
the,
the group, multi-county and
Cities
city.
so,
and others.
yeah, so could we be sent that information?
Yeah, I don't have it, but we will find it, so, yeah. Yeah, we can send it out.
It's like being at the batting cages,
Yeah.
right? You know, and they're just coming fast
Sure.
and, yeah.
Yeah, I was out.
Batting cages?
And then, yes, the full pack meeting tomorrow, we'll be discussing the FEMA buyout as well. So many opportunities to talk all of
Is
this.
anybody
along. So
from here, are you going to?
I am. I will be there tomorrow. Anything else that we want to talk about? How about anything in this evening? Done with this evening?
Chair, if I might, just want to let the board know there is an executive session tonight, so it could be that if we have time, we might need to reconvene after the regular board meeting if there's any
Okay,
issues that haven't been resolved. So,
okay. Yeah, we've got a pretty full work session up until like towards the end.
I had a call this afternoon that broke my heart from some people who bought a vacant lot, hoping to build a place on it and use it to get short-term rentals so they could afford to have it. And I thought they had enough time to do it, but now we're gonna have to use it. So I said, send an email about this to all the commissioners so that you will know about it and provide public testimony so you can hear their story too. I said, I thought we had gone so long and so deeply into the conversation that we were pretty much committed to moving ahead, but I wanted them to have a chance to be heard.
So, yeah,
this is on the STR issue, Commissioner.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't a buyout issue. So,
No, sorry, just think.
yeah, we have had the FCRs and nauseam, so we talked a lot about that, and I think we've provided direction. And anybody can participate in public, so you're certainly welcome to come at any time. Anything else? Okay, let's move on to the rolling agenda. Do we have anything on the rolling agenda this evening that we want to discuss? We're going all the way into January.
The work sessions in November and December look pretty light. So maybe we might end up canceling those if there isn't. For
Well,
example,
certainly the two in the December don't have anything
yeah, so maybe just
on
the two.
them yet.
two
I
in
mean,
December.
You never know. But at this point in time, we don't have anything on, the fourth or the eighteenth.
Just,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, we'll definitely
But
keep that in mind. Anything else?
just reserve the right to like November meetings if we can. If there's anything for FEMA buyout, we need to carry over, just make sure we have that, we can be nimble and add those in there.
Yeah.
So I don't wanna, shortcut any discussions or any progress we can make. And we will keep all those dates available for anything that comes up. And then if we don't have anything to Commissioner Thompson's point, then we can.
Because I know Commissioner Tarioka wants to come to every meeting, right, for as long as possible. I'm just kidding, just
Get
kidding.
it till the end.
Just kidding, I know, I see you, that's great. Too bad you didn't.
All right, anything else on the rolling agenda? We can move on to our next item, which is the joint fair board and county commission meeting. We have, well, first of all, I introduce Chair Bellingham from the fair board. Welcome. Thanks for being here this evening.
Good to be here.
Do you have any other members of the fair board here?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's Lighthizer here. Sorry.
I am right next to me. Well, thank you for being here. All right, so, yeah. So during the fair board meeting, we're gonna have some interviews of potential fair board applicants. So we did set aside 30 minutes for this. We do have two questions that we're gonna be asking, so have those, do we have those in front of us, or is it just me?
It's just you that.
Okay.
You can go.
I'll go ahead and answer, I'll ask the question.
That's what I'm doing.
I'm gonna let them answer the question, and then we'll just kind of move on. I'm loopy, since 1 o'clock. All right,
So if I may, Chair, I just want to share really quick, the fair manager, Kyle Sharpstein, and I contacted each of the 6 applicants, just so that way we can kind of go over with them what the roles and responsibilities of the fair board members are, as well as kind of what the time commitments are, so that way they have a good understanding stepping into this role. So just to really quickly let you all know, some of the things we touched on were the MOU between the county and the fair board, that the fairgrounds staff are county employees, that the fair board are responsible for following all county policies and procedures, including procurement rules and any bargain contracts, because they have union employees, and that they should allow the fair staff to do this as well. The fair board is responsible for following all public meeting laws, including rules around quorums and serial communications. And then also the time commitments, even though it's only technically 1 meeting a month, there's still a significant time commitment that they volunteer their time for, which includes responding to regular emails, having special meetings such as this, and then being present at the fair, and given that the fair is the main fair board activity, making sure that they're present for assisting with all of that planning as well. And then we also just shared that the fair receives no general fund support, that it does operate via a voted on tax levy, as well as facility rentals, because essentially the fairgrounds is like a business, and so the rentals are what help pay for ongoing operations and maintenance. So they have all been briefed on all of that. They're all still excited for the role. I know that you do have 4 of the 6 applicants here in person. I don't know if there's somebody else online, but we did have one. We sent out the email that unfortunately he has to work, but he's still very interested in applying. So I will go ahead and turn it over to you, and you can call up the applicants and they can each come up here when it's their turn.
okay, sounds good. Chair Bellingham, do you want to say anything before we get started, or?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I'd like to meet these people and go from there, hear what they have to say.
Well, as we kind of were going into this from, you read all the applications, and it's unique that all 6 people who applied
Yeah.
have something different to offer the fair board, whether it's technology or event experience. There's certain things that every individual, so I guess in addition to our questions on our review, I'd like to know what the fair board says, we need this.
Yeah.
To make our board complete, or we need this, these components. Like I said, to get the talented people here, we really need to know what the fair needs fit, the puzzle pieces together to make it, to help out your board especially.
Agree.
Point of clarification. We're not making a decision today, we're just, it's listening.
Interview today, and I think we really want the fair board to kind of
Exactly.
provide their direction on this. Yeah. Anything to say before we get started? Okay. So we've got 2 questions for each of the candidates. And I can go ahead and get started. Elizabeth Bigda.
I don't see her in the room.
Be joining us online.
Maybe try again at the end.
Okay. Do that. Elise Bigelow. Hi.
Yeah, go right ahead.
You're right in front of them.
All right, welcome. Thanks for being here. Okay, I'll go ahead and get started. You're first up here. Why are you interested in serving on the Fair Board? What is your understanding of the role of the Fair Board? Any financial conflicts of interest or ethical requirements of the position?
I'm interested in being a part of the Fair Board, just because I've been here, born and raised, I've always enjoyed the fair, and I would like to see more happen at the actual fairgrounds, being utilized in a bigger way. What was the second question?
So, your understanding of the role of the Fair Board?
Oh, I do understand it's once a month, as well as commitments. I would have imagined Fair Board members are always present in all the activities, helping out in any way, whether that be helping out in the restrooms or just being present, making sure that we're there for Scan Fest and the rodeo coming up or the actual fair itself, whatever that might be. I am not shy from Birdie Bird. Yeah.
And then any financial conflicts of interest or ethical requirements?
That I know of, I don't, my husband is not employed by the county or anything, so I don't believe so.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I appreciate you allowing me to be here, and it's great.
Okay, the second question, I'm sorry, I jumped the gun. How do you see the fair as well as the fairground facility as an opportunity for economic development?
No, it brings the community together. I want the community to be more like, instead of it, where is the fairgrounds, even when people are like moved here just for a few years, the fairgrounds are kind of out of the way, right? I want it to be more, we all know where the fairgrounds are because there's always utilizing that beautiful space.
Great.
That's it.
That's it?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Elise.
Yeah.
Going for quick and painless.
All right, yeah.
I don't know why I'm trying to look. I can't see everything. With my glasses.
And then next is John Cappermain. He's the one that. Okay. And then Joel Homelak. Homelak, okay, sir. Welcome, Joel.
My name is Joel Homelak. You sit here. Right.
Okay, first question is, why are you interested in serving on the Fair Board, and what is your understanding of the role of the Fair Board, financial conflicts of interest, or ethical requirements?
I wanted to join the Fair Board. I knew that there was gonna be a couple openings and I want to get more involved with this type of stuff because I plan on having kids soon. And, I probably plan on joining the school board as well in the future, trying to, if I do have kids. Anyways, besides that, growing up ever since 4th grade, actually before that, because my brother is older than me, 3 years older. So ever since like 1st grade, I was always part of fair. And I always remember like, Jack Ficken and stuff like that, and I always looked up to him, and said, oh, someday I'll be like that. And I always said, someday I'll buy a pig from fair because I raised pigs. And this year we bought a fair from pig, and that was really cool to fulfill that bucket list thing, and I'm pretty like mechanically inclined, and like I have a small farm myself and all that. And so I feel like I could be a lot of help for that facility. And not just that, but I'm very much a part of the community. Like I go to the church out there and I know a lot of people around the area. And if we ever need help with something, or when it comes time for donation, anything like that, I think that there's a lot of people I could talk to. And I think for people to talk to. So people have any questions or concerns or whatever about what Fair Board is doing, good hub for that. So those are a couple of the reasons. And then the next question was my duties. I'm willing to make this a higher priority over my hobbies. So, and I currently don't even have any kids, so just a job. So I should have plenty of time, and I understand. I already talked to, sorry, I talked to her on the phone, but her,
Yeah.
I figured that the duties would be at least that much before I had talked to her, so, and I've already talked to my business partner about penciling out the whole week of fair. So,
And then any financial conflicts of interest or ethical requirements?
no, sir.
And then how do you see the fair as well as the facility as an opportunity for economic development?
Economic development, so you don't mean like community development, you mean like making it economic development, like what else is there?
No, just, what do you see as a potential benefit of the,
A way to make money.
yeah,
Oh, a way to make money. I mean, for one, it could be, in my opinion, there could be some development there. And, one thing I remember is, ever since high school, I could go into stories, but nobody wants to hear my stories. Ever since high school, there's always been a mud bog event there. And my best friend is Rick Sarin, whose dad is big. So like, I definitely be close with people like that. And I would love to see that stuff come back. And I do remember there was, they used to do rallycross down in that field.
the next is Mary Jo Gregoire.
Hi,
Welcome, Mary Jo.
thank you.
So the first question is, why are you interested in serving on the Fair Board, and what is your understanding of the role of the Fair Board? Any financial conflicts of interest or ethical requirements?
Let's start with the other two, the bottom two
Sure.
first. No. What is my interest on joining the Fair Board? Well, my family definitely enjoys going to the fair. My adult daughters don't even live here, but they bring all their friends every year, especially the concert is a big hit. So for me, this seems from a community perspective, it's a good opportunity for me to see if I could provide some value to the organization and to see if what I can do to help improve the fair and continue to improve the fair. I will say our first year here, we were in 2021. And just from the experience of going to the fair, I've just seen that improvement over time as well. So that's been interesting to see that evolve and that there's already a focus on continuing to improve that. We go to other events as well on the fairground. So that's I just see that a lot of opportunity there. That was why it was on the Fair Board and the role. And my role on the fair, obviously there's meetings to attend and contributing to that, attending the fair and as a volunteer and probably other volunteer opportunities. And then I would imagine there's working sessions and the opportunity to figure out how to recognize what has been accomplished, what has been done in the past, what do you want to bring back, where are the other opportunities to continue to grow the fair. And I don't know that I know all of the history of the fair, but, or the fair use of the fairgrounds, but, I think one thing would be to look at the opportunity to evaluate what has happened in the past, especially going into your economic development question. Looking through all that, come up with a strategic plan as you build out and a roadmap to continue that growth.
Great. How do you see the fair as well as the fairgrounds facility as an opportunity for economic development in Clatsop?
Again, I don't know if I have the specifics of what would give it economic development. Again, I would probably have to look through the evaluation of what opportunities have already been discussed and where that might have a
a positive, return on investment would be one thing I would look at. And then, you know, looking what other counties have done successfully to evolve and, you know, there, to me, it's a copy paste in some areas. You don't always have to invent something brand new. Obviously, you can kind of look and do research on, and maybe, you know, volunteering to take on some of that research to see what other counties have done successfully. Might have to go visit a whole bunch of fairs during the summer.
That's great. Well, thank you very much, Randy.
Nice to meet you guys.
And next is Bruce Smith. Pronounce that right?
Yes, I gotta spell my name and say Jones. I'm not a joiner. I'm nervous, but when Kyle mentioned there was an opening, it resonated. I've been involved with the fair for clear back when it was at the old place down here.
I haven't even asked you a question yet.
Well, sorry.
Well, you're getting at it, but why are you interested in serving on the fair board, and what is your understanding of the role of the fair board?
I'm interested because I've been involved as a contractor with sound systems and PA systems and stuff, and not just with the fair, but the fair grounds. Highly involved with the Scan Festival, the Crab and Seafood, and somewhere along the line, I just fell in love with the people. So and I've watched the fair through multiple managers, and I just think there's just a sense of hope right now, and I just sense it. That's all. And I love the fair. I just do. And it's been hard for me to watch it since the pandemic as it tries to recover.
Yeah.
But we're not alone. I've been involved with Tillamook County Fair, Wahkiakum County Fair. I do work with a lot of festivals. I've been involved with Washington and Oregon State Fairs and Festivals Associations. I haven't been since 2020. But I have some idea how that all works. I'm very happy to see the fair bring musical acts and that wonderful natural amphitheater. I've stared at that for years and went, why? And we are. So, what was the rest of the question?
No, you understand the role of the fair board.
I think.
Yeah. And then any financial conflicts of interest or ethical requirements?
There are two that I've already addressed with Kyle. My wife runs a janitor supply business. She is a past provider of the fair for janitor supplies, paper goods, etc. She was unceremoniously booted out for a certain manager in years past. We lost our investment, but we gave the fair all the fixtures and stuff. It kind of hurt. So in a perfect world, if her business, and speaking of my wife's business, it's not mine, could save the fair and the county money, she'd love to be a part of it. I would leave the building if that was something. And also, I have an interest in sound and lights. That's what I do for a living. I play music, I tour, and I set up portable sound and light systems. I don't know that my company's big enough to handle the fair. We don't do staging, for example. We do lighting and sound. So should that ever come up, I would just not attend that meeting. But I haven't been asked to either, and it's fine as far as I know. I've performed there the last 3 or 4 years, and the sound and lights are fine. So those are two potential conflicts, but they're certainly not right now.
Okay.
But
yeah, I appreciate your strong.
yeah, it is what it is.
Yep. And then how do you see the fair as well as the fairgrounds facility as an opportunity for economic development in Concord County?
My answers are all about music. I love that there's been some concerts there. I've attended some of those, and from the Scandinavian Festival, the ABBA stuff, the the Fleetwood Mac tributes. I like the idea that that facility is being used in creative ways, just not, a little bit outside the box. So I don't know. I guess I'm really open-minded to how to do that. And I think Kyle has kind of got a ball rolling in a direction that I really like. So that's, other than that, I don't really know. I don't know the inner workings of the fair. I like the fair. I like the fairgrounds, and my business takes me to those grounds all throughout the year. And there was a blues festival that was there for 2 years that didn't come back prior to 2020. So there's, maybe I can try to bring some things like that. Maybe, I don't know. So
That's great. Yeah, yeah, thank you, Bruce.
okay.
You did good.
We went through those pretty fast. I wanted to, just that, Sharon, would you like to ask a question?
Who's online?
Think that's John, no.
Is it John? John Cattermain?
Yep, this is John. I'm on the phone. I got away from work.
Hey, welcome, John. John, I have a couple questions for you, and you've
Sure.
got the county commission here, and we've got the fair board as well. Why are you interested in serving on the fair board, and what is your understanding of the role of the fair board?
I'll address the first part. My role of understanding what the Fair Board does. The Fair Board actually enforces the rules of the organization, making sure that the fiscal responsibilities are met, making sure that things are booked, helping supporting Kyle, the fair manager, as well as supporting the entire fairgrounds in any way possible. That's to our duties as a member of the Fair Board. My interest is I've done a lot of fairs in my time. I used to own a company that exhibited in fairs. We did anywhere between 50 and 75 fairs a year around California and Nevada. And so, I've been intrigued. I've seen the good and I've seen the bad and I've seen the ugly. And I think that, what I've seen so far since Kyle came on, I really like what's going on there. And I want to be part of that in the future.
Great. Any financial conflicts of interest or ethical requirements for the position?
None whatsoever. Just a fair goer who loves fairs.
All right. How do you see the fair as well as the fairgrounds facility as an opportunity for economic development in Clatsop County?
I think the fairgrounds is an important part of the community, and I think that the more we engage the entire community in different ways, like we have so far with the Crab Festival, Scandinavian Festival, the rodeo coming, the fair, the 4-H. I think that's very important to have a very big part of the entire community, and I think outreach in the community should be very, very important to the fair and to the economic development of the fair in the whole county. I think we can add a lot to the whole county.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Pardon me?
Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
Oh, I
Chair,
appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. Would you like to ask some questions? And I know we have to kind of stay consistent with everybody being able to answer the question, but
Yeah, I've just got one, just to kind of see where everybody's at.
everybody
I
leaves.
think, Bruce just left.
Oh, Bruce.
Yeah, I hate to ask a question, not give him the opportunity to give an answer. That's fine.
I have a question for the Fair Board, and it's mainly just something that I want you guys to think about. You don't have to answer today, but what do you guys need? And maybe have that, discussion at your next Fair Board meeting when you decide on your recommendations that you're going to be sending to us. I just, everybody here has something to offer, which is very I don't wanna say the word rare, but it's, rare to have such a robust, selection of people to choose from who
Yeah.
have so much to offer. And so I think it's you guys going home and trying to figure out what do you need.
Can I piggyback on that? Because to your point, Commissioner Toyoko, when you said, what's missing or what would make a difference if it were there in the skill set? And I was listening, you've got all these wonderful volunteers, which speaks well of you, speaks well of the manager. You know, is there any way you can have some kind of a subcommittee or two that you establish so that they operate under the auspices of the Fair Board, but you make use of the special talents that some people have, so you put some people on the board and then you establish a subcommittee? Because we committee ladies, we like those subcommittees, because then you can get people involved. It's a feeder system for the board when vacancies occur, and in the meantime, they get to contribute, and you get the benefit of their skill
Yeah.
and interest.
Very good point.
Great. We like committees.
I just love county. Everywhere I have lived all over the country, I always go to the county fair and I usually go to the state fair. And, I just think some of the comments that sounded very hopeful to me. They were all people who understood that they were joining a rising organization. And I think that's very exciting. I think we put a lot of effort in this board in the last couple of years to hire the right people to be totally restructured the way that their board, with the way the whole facility works. And so I think that there's a lot of positive energy I saw in virtually everybody.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty wonderful. You know, we have a lot of county committees and we often hunger for people to volunteer at all. And I was so impressed in reading through these.
Yeah.
I just thought, whoa, and I love the idea of maybe having a stepping stone and having some special committees that people work on or something.
Yeah.
Use them all.
Yeah, all these. Yeah, this is a very difficult decision.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, these are all strong candidates. And again, I've known forever, and really appreciated hearing Mary Jo and Joel and John, and then of course Bruce I've seen out there for years, out at the Seafood Festival and all the other events. So everybody here has a real passion for the Fair Board and for doing, the best, bringing what they can to make it, best it can be. So it's cool.
Next steps to see how we can get this done for you guys as fast as possible so that we have a full board. Do we know what the next steps are?
Here's. Something that happened.
So based on your conversations, I think that the Fair Board has a lot to consider. And so if they can go back at their next board meeting and have a discussion and then bring forward their recommendations to you. Your next meeting is the first Tuesday in November?
Yes.
Yeah. And so then that would mean that we would try to have something on that it wouldn't make the November 13th. It would have to be the December meeting. Yeah.
Is there a way to make
We could put, you could either have a special meeting or we could also just put the agenda item together and just be ready for it on November 13th.
So
That would be great.
Is it required that we approve?
Yeah, your board
We
appoints
have to
it,
approve.
yeah.
So it has to be a formal.
We can put a place.
No, we've always approved.
Yeah.
It could go, you do it the first. Tuesday,
The first Tuesday of
then
November.
we'll come back on the 13th.
Yeah.
And the board can
Okay.
then-
Yeah.
Mainly.
Perfect. That would be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
One.
After that gets done.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Well,
John.
I'm outgoing commissioner, so I can say what I want, right? No, as we, as you consider, the new fair board members and the structure of the fair board, and how we're going to move forward in the future, we are talking about economic opportunity. And I'm old enough that I remember the fairgrounds being right here in town. And at the time, it was the community gathering spot. There were so many activities year round, loggers festivals, fishermen had events. I mean, every
community had events there and then everybody joined in. And I see, you guys are working towards getting us back there. So like, Gloria, as you're looking at building your fair board again, look to that future and not just in economic opportunities, but how we get our community back to where we used to be, to where that was like the hub.
Yeah.
That was a symbol of, our county was that fair, because everything happened, whether you're a logger, forester, fisherman.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. You had something going on and everybody
everybody.
participated. So that, just kind of keep that in mind as we're building this board back, and how do we take it to the next step to get us back?
And Kyle and Christian have worked very hard, and Kelly too, worked very, very hard out there to make sure that we're on track to get to where you're talking about, and they've restructured the entire way we do things out there. There's no more pencil and pen, and of course, there's probably a little bit of that, but everything's electronic, so they're not handling things 15 million times and trying to streamline things, and Kyle's setting up SOPs for things, and it's a ton of work that those guys are doing, and it's gonna take, like you guys said, there's a lot of really good skills that all these people have, that will be very useful, so.
Well, we really appreciate all you've done. This has been, most people really just see the fair, some of I know that we've had our fundraiser events out there, and it's been so good to work with the team and been successful. It's pretty amazing what goes on year round, not just the fair. But year round, and
Especially with COVID.
Yeah.
I think COVID was really hard.
yeah,
And I think that the fair has come.
Yeah.
In your board.
You guys have done a great
has
job.
Really
Yeah.
recovered very well. I heard some great, positive things from these folks. It was, some of the things that to me, I don't remember who it was, who mentioned the music and, that great amphitheater. And yes, we have all those, we've got a lot going for us in the fairgrounds. And so onward, upward, let's go get them.
No, I just want to say thank you guys very much, because that is kind of a daunting thing to do, so thank you.
Well, you have the board support.
Very good. So far, so good. Okay.
all right, well, thank you very much. Thank you.
I was listening.
And then it'll come back to fair board,
Yes.
come back to us on November 3rd.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hopefully we will
Thank you.
make it a quick.
Have a good night.
Thank you for coming
Thanks, guys.
forward.
Thanks.
Everyone knows it.
Nobody knows who you are.
You can, like.
You don't want to be guys.
Goodness.
Thank you.
I'll make you come over here. It's good to see you.
Really nice. This is I want to say a watershed moment.
It's good. It is really good.
Okay, we got 2 items here. We want to get them done before the regular meeting. So first is council forest. And we have 10 minutes because of this. Okay?
You want me to start?
Yeah.
So Commissioner Thompson and I have been talking back and forth about the potential of joining the council forest press office as vice chair potentially if the council was I don't know, amenable to that, if that's the word. And so I basically, what I wanted to do was bring it to our table and have us discuss it, the pros and the cons, mainly just because we're a team. And would it be a good strategy for us or not? Because a lot of what I see is needed is strategy in these conversations. And so I will start with my personal thoughts, and then if that's okay with you, and then open it up for the table. and we can discuss it if that works.
Yeah.
So on the strategy side, I do see value. It potentially could have value as a strategic opportunity to bring more of Clatsop County to the table. But on the other side of the conversation, there's also, do we have the capacity to layer commissioners and liaison appointments? We are all, I mean, we've discussed in the past many times how spread thin we are, and that it is a volunteer position. And so, and I mean, that came up at our last meeting even. And so I'm I'm definitely split, but I'm falling to the side of, not wanting to stretch Commissioner Thompson thin or thinner. I mean, I'll be honest, not wanting to spread her thinner because she's already on DLCD. She's already on AOC. She's vice chairs here and vice chairs there and chairs here and chairs there. And as much as I see value in the potential, we're already, I think, doing a good job of showing up when needed. Your voice was heard during the board meeting. Your voice was heard during the board meeting. So that's kind of where I'm sitting. Does anybody else have?
Can I
Yes.
just say, here's why I offered the structure of the Council of Forest Trust Lands. Clatsop County's got a seat, period. We got a seat. But the chair and the vice chair don't have a vote, but they have a voice. So the idea is, how do we get two Clatsop County voices at the table? Because it's always better to have two of us at the table. Anybody else who wants to step up, you're more than welcome. I stepped away from some so that I would have some room, because I know the work you've been doing and how exhausting it is. It will not break my heart, but before y'all came on, I ran for chair of the Council of Forest Trust Lands. It actually got enough votes that they had to count them. I didn't win, but you know, I had enough votes that so we've been credible in that arena for a while.
Yeah.
And I talked with Commissioner Starr, who's the vice chair, and willing to support us. What I'm looking for is, how do we get somebody who's known and who's got a chance of getting in there, so that we have two voices at the table. It won't break my heart at all if you tell me no, but if it would help the team, I could look to shed something else, because I see this as so important. I'm not going to shed LCDC, but and I did tell the incoming president I'd be co-chair of governance and revenue. But I've stepped away from Colpack and the Act, and that's a big load that's off. I stepped away from CAT, that's a big load that's off. So I have a little wiggle room, but whatever you all want, I'm happy. I want us to have the best chance possible to come through. That's what I want to do.
I appreciate that. I do appreciate you on DLCD and AOC. You do a fantastic job on CFTLC. Whenever there is an opportunity for us to weigh in, she lets us know, we're there. I feel really confident with the way that it's, existing right now with your role on CFTLC, what you're doing so much. You've got so much on your plate. I just don't think that you need another thing.
One nostril above the wave is the phrase.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just my feeling. I like what you.
I'm not worried about our incoming, change up. But with the change up is gonna change liaison positions, and I don't know, I'm just, the time and place is important, I think, in changes, and I don't know.
Well, I have a basic question. I always assumed that the membership on FitBack was in ORS or something. I mean, are you just proposing that we're saying, well, we want another seat at the table? I mean, I didn't think that was possible.
So so how CFTLC is structured is that, every county representation has a position on as a voting position. Our
And-
chair and vice chair does not have to be a voting position, so they can have a second commissioner on CFTLC as a voting member. And so like Tillamook has two commissioners on, one is non-voting and one is voting. Coos has two, well, yes, two on, but one never shows. But he shows up to vote. And so it's how it's structured. And I mean, the chair or vice chair could end up being a voting member. And that there's no reason why chair or vice chair can't be a voting member, but counties choose sometimes to kind of stretch the potential of the position.
So is there ever a case when a county can get two votes?
No, there's never a
We have
case
a
for
vote.
two votes, it's only one vote,
This is our vote on it.
yeah.
Two voices is possible. Only one vote is possible.
Yeah, okay, that's what I didn't understand how complicated that was. I have said, no surprise to anybody, that I believe that our seat, is a conflict of interest. And, I think it's inappropriate for someone who is married to be our, so I have to express that again. I have also been very disappointed that we as a board have not done a lot of discussing. I mean, I've going back through the last 4 years and there have been very few times when during work sessions or our commission meetings that we have actually talked about issues on this committee.
Which,
All of them.
I think we talk a lot about issues and they have work sessions all the time. I take issue
I
with
have just
saying we're not
gone,
respecting.
you know something, I just had the unique pleasure of being in bed for about 6 weeks. And I have been listening to meetings. Please fight for me. Please find them. No, go home.
What do you, asking me?
I'm asking, you just said, oh, we talk about them all the time. We have never taken a vote on anything. We've never talked about positions on things. Maybe somebody was talking to you, but in places that I have been, no one has ever asked me for my opinion. Either publicly but to
So
me, this
we're
board.
talking about this DFPLC. And so this is a discussion about whether we want to change who we have representing something. I think we're very well served. And this wouldn't be changing somebody, but it'd actually be adding somebody as a non-voting member.
Could I just clarify?
Yeah.
Please? So what happens is at the, early in the morning meeting, 7 or 7:30, at the Association of Oregon Counties during that business week of the annual meeting, there is, the selection of the representatives for the various seats, but there's also the election of the chair and vice chair of the Council of Forest Trust Lands. And anybody who gets a nomination from one of the trust land counties can run to be chair or vice chair. And so, you know, I was being myself and saying, do you need me to help?
Yeah.
So,
Would you often,
Well,
volunteer and
you know,
we do appreciate your.
I always appreciate how much willingness that you have, and I think that the discussion that just circles back to capacity and value and,
did my husband call you?
probably is talking in my ear right now too.
Anything you wanted to add there, John?
You know, the only thing I thought of in this whole discussion, when it came up with like any committee or any time there's a committee, board member that's representing on any kind of board or trust or anything, having two members there is always, I think, a risky, because you always want one voice. And if the other person is there to represent, it's wonderful, but if you diminish your voice, you diminish your stand. You know, if people pick up, if you're not in total sync, then it distracts from what you're trying to do as a county, I think, or as an organization. So there's a lot of, risk with having two members that unnecessarily, you kind of want to keep that one voice, one. And if we discuss something here, that person takes that one message forward and not any kind of dilution.
And we still have the opportunity to weigh in when there is.
But that, not from any, just this one particular.
Tiger. We've got 10 minutes, so let's go ahead and jump into the TLT and jail operations discussion.
Change the order to the executive session now, and I
Do
don't,
we have enough time?
we have enough time for the executive session, but I don't think we have enough time to talk about transient lodging. That's as quickly as I can speak. I don't think,
Okay,
and the sheriff's gonna join me, so I think this can take longer than.
okay, we'll go ahead
We
and
could do that after
we'll put that out.
the regular meeting.